coastal cities suffered the worst. Massive storm surges swallowed entire neighborhoods, turning once thriving metropolitan areas into flooded wastelands. Saltwater intrusion contaminated freshwater supplies, leaving millions without drinkable water. Inland regions weren't spared either. Rivers overflowed, dams failed, and landslides buried towns under mud and debris. The constant battering of high-speed winds tore buildings apart, leaving behind skeletal remains of once strong structures. Governments struggled to maintain order, evacuations turned chaotic, as roads remained impassable and airports remained shut down indefinitely. Military forces were deployed for rescue operations, but even they were limited by the storm's relentless power. Satellites captured haunting images from space, an enormous, unbroken swirl of clouds covering vast portions of the Earth. It was no longer just a superstorm, it had become the defining feature of the planet's climate. With communication lines down in many regions, isolated communities were left to fend for themselves. In some places, the storm created permanent refugees, millions of people forced to abandon their homes, seeking shelter in underground bunkers, reinforced buildings, or any place that could offer even temporary protection. The world was rapidly changing, and for the first time in human history, civilization faced a battle against a storm that had no end in sight. As the superstorm persisted, the world's infrastructure faced an unprecedented collapse. Roads and bridges, weakened by unrelenting floods and hurricane-force winds, crumbled into the rising waters. Railways twisted and snapped, cutting off vital supply routes. Airports, once hubs of global travel and trade, became abandoned ruins buried under debris. Without functional transportation networks, delivering emergency aid to affected regions became nearly impossible. Entire nations were plunged into darkness as power grids failed under the stress of constant lightning strikes, fallen transmission towers, and waterlogged electrical systems. The lack of electricity created a new crisis. Hospitals, unable to sustain their operations, ran out of backup power. Life-saving machines shut down, and critical medications spoiled without refrigeration. The world's healthcare systems, already strained, collapsed under the sheer number of injuries, infections, and illnesses brought on by the storm. Contaminated floodwaters became breeding grounds for deadly diseases, spreading infections at a rate never seen before. With hospitals overwhelmed, survivors were left to rely on makeshift clinics, volunteer medical teams, or whatever supplies they could scavenge. Meanwhile, the Earth's geography itself began to shift.